Here's the fun for today. Seems like this is one of those jobs. It's not a bad job. It's just started off that way. Nothing really major, but it's just kind of enough to kind of keep tripping things up. So anyways, we had trouble. It rained last night. Hold on a second, landowner's coming out. So I don't remember where we left off, but I took the air compressor, as you guys saw, and blew around. Let me show you where it broke. I don't know if I showed you before, but it broke right there, and this had been broke for a while on this one side, and obviously that it looks like maybe it started to make a little crack right there, right there, and then it just busted free right there. So it'd been broke for a while. I have no idea why it would do that, or if it's just a faulty link or something. I mean, I took the air hose and blew around every one of the, you can't see now because I blew from the other side, but I, checked every one of these, and no cracks, nothing obvious. So, and this is pretty low hours for, I mean, look at the sprocket's like barely worn on it. It's pretty low hours to have issues with chains or undercarriage on this machine. I was talking to my just a minute ago, and he was saying that he had problems with them braking, and but they were braking in a different area. I'll show you guys around. I think he was saying that they were braking not right there on this part of the link, which mine aren't. And he said that he was going to send me a picture. Maybe I can put it up if he finds it. But he said it was pretty obvious. You could tell, once you knew what you were looking for, that where to look for hairline cracks and other sections of the chain. So, at any rate, I don't think there's two things here. I don't want to waste a bunch of time and more money to put a new undercarriage if we don't need it, and I really feel like I'm not trying to be cheap, but I feel like this machine is just going behind the buncher. It's not like a processor cutting off the stumps. Like, you're usually never traveling on ground without brush. And yeah, you'll still get in rocky areas, but it's not as bad. I can't believe it's lasted this long. That section that we're just finishing up, some of the rockier ground I've ever cut with this machine. Probably the rockiest ground. But it's usually on brush, and you're usually just tracking straight ahead. You're turning in the trails, but you're not getting off to the side or whatever. And that's usually what's harder on these things. Going behind a processor should last for a lot longer than cutting off the stump. The last, I know it was a different undercarriage. I think it might have been a Burco. This is Caterpillar, I think. But the last 501 I had new, the undercarriage, I replaced it because it kept falling off, and I didn't want to take a link out. It never broke, and it had 8,800 hours on it. This machine just has a little over 4,700 hours, which I think that's more along the lines of what you get in a buncher running it hard on an undercarriage, not a processor. So, but I don't. If I was finding cracks, oops, what am I hitting here? If I was finding, especially where that link broke, in several different places in this chain that were or good, then it's getting to the point where it's like, are you just throwing it back together to have it break again? And so I don't want to do that. I don't want to, run around, get the links and pins to put it back together. I'm going to have the same guys come down that have been doing some work for me. They have a track pin press, and they're a lot more reasonable than the dealer, so it's a little easier for me to swallow. But I don't want to have them come down, get this going just to have it break again. But I don't see, I kept checking every one. I got the last 3 or 4. I was like, okay, just one more. And that there was no other cracks. So I would assume that, hey, look, there's an image Dean sent me, my brother-in-law, so maybe I can throw that in here somewheres. All right, that'll be in here. I'll throw that crack that he showed me. I haven't looked at it yet, so maybe it's somewhere else, but I'm not finding any other cracks that suggest that there's any other issue with this. It's not sloppy. The pins aren't all sloppy. The track doesn't have a lot of snake side-to-side play, so I don't know. I'm just feel like it's not at the point where I need to throw a new undercarriage on here. Looked at the picture. His was cracking and breaking in a totally different spot than mine, so I suppose it could be cracking there too, but I'm not going to worry about that. It's not where this one broke. So, well, I suppose it could be. Plus the pad's not off, but his broke. Let me see if I can show you. His was, well, I think it was cracking. Where was it? Well, let me look at that picture again. I looked at it again and again here, and it looks sort of, if I can put my brother-in-law's was cracking right there where this comes together, which is kind of where the other ones did break, but I'm not seeing anything suspicious. I mean, it's hard to tell. Some of this cast, or I don't know what type of metal it is, but however they cast these or make them, you can see a little bit of imperfections in the metal where it comes together right there that might kind of look like a start of a crack, but I don't think it is. To me, it doesn't. So I talked to the undercarriage guy and from Milton Cat, and they got to order it, but wherever it is, they'll have it up at the store at 7 tomorrow, which is good. So I don't know. These are probably one of the things that I'll go over and over again. Kind of, am I doing the right thing? Other than it broke, I don't see anything on any other link that's like, oh, well, that's cracking. So this shit frustrates me. It's just been the last couple 2-3 weeks have been not big stuff, but it's like this. The pin, the 2 pins and the link is only $200. I ordered on 2 sets, so I'd have an extra one because I got to order it. I'm not sure if they're a pin that got to press it. If you have to press it in, they have 2 different types. There's one that you have to have a machine to press it in, and then there's another type that it just kind of it's a tight fit, and then you put like a cotter pin on the end and you probably weld it so it doesn't come out. So I'm kind of hoping it's that. But still, if it broke again, you got to press the old pin out or cut it or whatever they do. So anyway, I'm just, it's just one of those things where I'm a little frustrated. You had the gap in between the last job and this job. It was too long. I don't know. It's just one of those times. And then right gravel. This is kind of sloppy. So My brother-in-law's father brought me a couple loads of gravel. It needs to dry out a little more. It's still kind of mushy right here. It's even drying out a little more than what it was earlier, but once we get it packed down, the landowner actually has like an old 580 case bucket and backhoe on the back, or whatever you call it. So, and I said he'd probably do it, but I saw him, he was here at lunch. I said, why don't you just back drag this, smooth it out? And he's wicked nice. He's gonna do that this weekend. I said, let it dry a little bit. Fueled up the buncher. I haven't eaten lunch yet. It's like 2 o'clock. Frustrated. Probably overthinking things. I'm not seeing anything terrible on that machine. So, you know, if I put that track back together, and you know, if we go a year and it breaks, well, then we're going to do an undercarriage then. If it goes, you know, 2 weeks, probably should think about doing an undercarriage then, or at least the chains. I probably would get a cheapy set of chains. Well, because I guess the sprockets are fine, so I guess probably the sprockets aren't that much money either. Whatever it is, I usually listen to the voice of reason. If somebody's saying, yeah, you should just do it this way and do it right, that's what I'll do. So Mark's, I don't know why Mark's not trucking tomorrow, because we still got 3 or 4 loads here, which is, we would have had a decent week, actually, decent average week for everything that's been happening. Doesn't look like it, but there's a load of firewood and probably 3 loads of hardwood pulp right there. It's kind of the way the pile sets. All right, well, I got it all. I went and ran the bunch of the rest of the day, and decided when I got out here that I would drag this out here and get the processor on it. I pretty much got her all on there. I was gonna try and drag it up over. I had that strap, but I don't know if it's gonna be easier for them to, I don't know if they're gonna drag it up. They're gonna have to press that pin out, because that link's no good. And they'll have to press this pin out. So I don't know if it's going to be easier for them to do it there, or if they're going to want to do it while it's up on the machine or whatever. So I decided that I wasn't going to go through the hassle of trying to drag that up on there by myself. So this is an afterthought added to the video. So there you go, a little extra. So I figured I'd get ahead of the game. I'd drive to Brewer in the morning and get that. So, all right, guys. Had a couple loads of oats to New Hampshire, to Tamworth. Had different trucking doing that. So anyways, this is sort of a ramble, this and that, but I think all in all, yeah, you know, typical me to overthink stuff. So, but I think we'll get that back together. The picture that my brother-in-law showed me, I'm just not seeing those cracks in there. They could be, but where I was pointing the flashlight is right where his was cracking, and I'm just not seeing it. So, and those ones, the one that broke, that's been broke for a while. So, and I had run those tracks kind of loose. It was never a big deal having them tight because I don't cut off the stump. You know, I just was either lazy or figuring, oh, I don't want them too tight, they'll stretch them out. But that probably you could, if you run them too loose like I was, you probably could get that track cocked off in the bottom in one of the rolls and really wrench on it. And maybe that did it, I don't know, or you know, who knows. But anyways, little update, some breakdowns. All in all, things are going all right. You know, this week isn't going to be any killer week. I think 9 or 10 loads, which is not, it'll pay the bills. Hopefully after I get that track on, we can get a little bit of a rhythm back. So anyways, like, subscribe, comment. We'll catch you later.